Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going over to Bitcoin, bigger the CoinsKid crew. So looking at Bitcoin insights on CoinsKid.com, you can clearly see the month of January. It's a little bit choppy at the moment. We're currently at 1.37%. Now, what we're doing here, if you take a look, we've got this sort of 4-year cycle that Bitcoin goes through. So basically 3 years green, 1 year red, 3 year green, 1 year red, 3 year green, 1 year red. And right now we're on cusp of going green again. And we've got 3 years, 3 positive years. So in theory, Bitcoin should enter some kind of bear market or macro correction this year. Okay, and then it rolls into next year, bottoms out, and it starts to come back up again. In theory, if the cycles are playing out like that. So we'll keep an eye on it, but going forward, we should see a positive year for Bitcoin, unless obviously the cycles are broken or something's broken or whatever, but how long? And this is something that I always think about. How long will Bitcoin keep doing this? How long will it work in these 4-year cycles, where we have 3 years green, 1 year red, 3 year green, 1 year red, so on and so forth? How long will it do that for? Will it ever escape it? So one of the key warning shots that we could have escaped it, and the cycles could be broken, is the fact that we did see an all-time high before the halvening in 2024, and this is something that's not necessarily happened for Bitcoin. So like I said to you, at this point, in my opinion, if we are in this typical cycle where every 4 years we go up and come down, so on and so forth, then towards the latter part of the cycle we should experience an alt season. We should see a massive move up in altcoins. So one of the key indicators that I created for the CoinsKid crew is the retail top indicator, and in November of last year it did trigger a warning shot, okay, to the perma bulls on Bitcoin that we're looking at 10x or whatever, and a massive exponential move. It triggered a warning shot that every time we've seen that, we've seen opportunities in altcoins at that point, not necessarily in Bitcoin, because it's had its move basically. And this is something I relayed to you, and this is why at the time I took opportunity to convert my Bitcoin into XRP, which is what I did, and we've seen a massive move up on XRP. So let me show you the retail top indicator, which is concerning going forward for the Bitcoin price action. Okay, so looking at retail top then, really simple. This blue line represents retail FOMO, basically retail interest. All it is a algorithm that I've created that basically when this starts to come down like this is where you start to see opportunities in altcoins. And this is something that I relayed to you on November the 2nd. Go back to the videos. I did say to you at this point, Bitcoin's trading at what, like 88k or something like that. I don't necessarily see much appreciation for Bitcoin at this point. A lot of people said I was too bearish, but like I said to you, I'm starting to rotate some more Bitcoin into some of these altcoins, and one of the coins I was looking at especially was XRP, because it had the perfect setup of a double bottom, and I was looking at it being in a third wave, and it was a very, very powerful wave. And the clue was in the first wave, which I relayed to you in the XRP videos, from that bottom right there. It was a massive move of 74%, and I think that was the clue to the first wave of a 3 basically. So with XRP, I do actually think at the moment we could potentially be in some kind of wave 4 correction. So pay attention to the XRP videos, because if the data rings true, basically, if this data is ringing true, and right now we've had a retail top, Bitcoin start to slow down, go sideways, then historically, whenever this has happened, we've gone, I've gone back in the charts and looked at this indicator with you. Historically, this is a time for altcoins to surge basically, and so far we have seen a massive move up on some of these altcoins. Cardano, VeChain's had a nice little move as well. It's retracing that move at the moment, but we've seen more appreciation from this trigger point for altcoins than we did Bitcoin, and that's really simple. It's simple data, and this is a data point that I relayed to you at the time. So going forward, obviously what we need to see in time, if Bitcoin rolls into a correction, a crash or whatever, and that is the top, who knows, no one's got a crystal ball, then this was the trigger point. The data, the retail showing up, is the main indicator that we need to pay attention to give us the guide to the top being in. We're in a close proximity basically for Bitcoin. So going forward, even from this point right now, I do actually think if we are in this sort of latter stage of the crypto market, from this point potentially Bitcoin, even if it turns around, comes back up and retraces this high or whatever, I do actually think from this point right now there are opportunities is in altcoins, in the likes of XRP missing the final 5th wave right there. So stay tuned to the XRP video updates. I am actually bullish on XRP. I know it's hard to understand. It's coming up, it's coming down, it's going sideways, it's a bit boring, but technically I don't necessarily see 5 waves yet. I do see 5 waves in Bitcoin, which I relay to you in a moment. So like I said to you, and a lot of people give me hate and slack and things like that, but I've rode Bitcoin up from November 2022 in 5 waves. So I jump ship and I look at other opportunities, and this is the opportunities that I take. And this particular indicator here, this warning shot, when the retail top indicator that I create for yourselves triggered, I jumped into XRP from Bitcoin, and that was just a major data point that I relayed to you, and it's paid dividends. So let's dive into the Bitcoin chart right now to see what we can see, okay? So looking at Bitcoin on a monthly time frame, what's concerning for me is the 5 waves we see from the bottom here. This is why I said to you, I do not necessarily think Bitcoin is the play here, because I think from this point, if it doubles or goes to 150k or 120k or whatever, it's not the play for me. The play is the altcoins, basically. So this is what I'm still looking at, is opportunities in many of these altcoins right now, because what we've got, if you take a look for Bitcoin from this bottom here, is a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into a 5. So like I said to you, if we do start to see 5 waves up here, this increases the probability of a pullback or a drawdown, and it increases maximum risk for a reversal. And with that, what we do have to potentially back up the reversal for Bitcoin is the retail top triggering in November, and also quite a bearish candlestick pattern just there that was printed in December called a shooting star. So the candle looks as if a price has reversed direction. Examining the performance statistics confirms that the shooting star acts as a reversal 59% of the time. However, I still consider that near random performance. Thus, although price reverses more often than not, do not depend on that happening. So we do have a couple of warning shots, okay, potentially in the candlestick formation of a shooting star and the retail top triggering for Bitcoin, that it may be cooked. This is why I think if you're looking to get into Bitcoin at this point, I think you're doing it wrong, okay. And this is something I relay to you, that these drawdowns here, this pullback here, this pullback here, this blood fear and depression down here as well after the 5 waves, 1 2 3 4 5. This was an opportunity, because like I've taught you, if you see 5 waves up, 1 2 3 4 5, you're going to get increased probability of pullback. If you see 5 waves down, 1 2 3 4 5, you've got an increased probability of pullback. And we've rode this pullback up in 5 waves. So right now, this is maximum risk enters the game for Bitcoin, with a potential retail top triggering and equally the monthly bearish shooting star. So there's all the chance that Bitcoin could be cooked, but if it is cooked, and we are in this latter part of the cycle right now where it is potentially running out of steam, then typically we look at altcoins as the opportunity. So this is why I keep relaying and keep looking at altcoin opportunities with you. I've been spotting loads and loads of meme coins. For example, I think towards the end of October right there, I picked out a meme coin for the CoinsKid crew called Fart Coin, and it did, I think, as daft as it is, I went through extensive research looking at many meme coins over many weeks right there, and I did pick out a select few, and one of those coins was Fart Coin, and it did roughly 60x for us. It did incredibly well, and this is something I was relaying in all this blood fear and depression, this pullback here. I'm looking at altcoins as an opportunity, and especially meme coins, and we've seen a huge move. So going forward, obviously the health of the market is all about Bitcoin, but what we do have here is 5 waves up to the upside. So for me, I'm not a buyer of Bitcoin at these levels. I've been buying this blood here, and this blood here, and right now in this final 5th wave, I'm taking risk by converting my Bitcoin into altcoins. So I still think there's more growth in this market, potentially altcoins, but going forward, obviously we've got to pay attention to the Bitcoin price going forward. So I've been trading Bitcoin up and down, been long short in the channel right there in the Discord for the CoinsKid crew, and I will continue to trade Bitcoin, but I'm not buying any more Bitcoin at these levels, okay. So let me dive into the Bitcoin chart closer to see what we can see on the micro time frames for any trade setups going forward. But I think at this point, if we are in the latter point of the cycle, altcoins are the selection right now. So is there anything else? Is there another chart that can give us a clue that at this point, this 1 2 3 4 5 setup, that altcoins are that particular opportunity going forward? There are 2 charts I'm going to show you right now that potentially presenting the clues that altcoins are the play. Okay, let me dive in. So looking at total 2 at the moment, there is a nice little cup and handle pattern here, and an inverse head and shoulders pattern which I've relayed to you. And I think what we've done, if you take a look, this is your neckline just there, a resistance. Look at that, boom, and then we broke out just there, peaked on this eye here, and then we've had this retracement back down into this neckline. So this is a typical thing that we do see, cup and handle patterns like this. We've got this basin that comes up like that, we get resistance, come back in the handle, break out, back test the neckline support before continuation. So right now there's nothing overly concerning with the price action that I'm seeing in total 2 that invalidates this beautiful pattern that puts us in a target of an alt season, basically to around about a $3.2 trillion market cap for the total 2 chart. So what is the total 2 chart? The total 2 chart is crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin. So I think we are in the latter stage, because clearly you can see from this bottom here, I think we've had a 1 into a 2 into a 3 into a 4 into a 5. So we are in the latter stage of this impulse that's began way back there in November in 2022 on this particular chart. So what I think we've got here, really simple, is an expanded flat correction. There's the A, there's the B, there's the C, and this is the final 5th wave coming up, and we are right now in the last leg basically. basically. So what I'm looking at is any confluence to this particular target being met is another chart, which is basically the Bitcoin dominance chart, and I'll show you that in a moment. So, you know, I do think we are in the last leg here, okay, and what we've done, we've broken out, we've took out this range, we've fallen back to its support, possibly some kind of ABC expanded fat correction right now, and then we'll look to continue and turn around and get to the technical target. Now, you know, there's no guarantees that we will get to that technical target, and if we break down, we fall below this beautiful curvature here, which is your parabolic growth curve here for the total 2 market cap. If we break down below that, turn to resistance at that point, yeah, okay, you know, you're creating bearish market structure, and equally you can see you're losing the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders pattern. Look at that, beautiful. And equally the cup and handle pattern, look at that, there's your handle, you break out, back to see you later. That's typically what we do see in these particular breakout patterns. If we break down below that, you know, turn it into resistance, then okay, you know, we've got to respect the price action at that point, flip bearish, but at the moment we're still holding uptrend structure within total 2, so I can't be too bearish at the moment, although obviously these pullbacks and drawdowns are nasty. But this is crypto, this is what happens, you know, we've experienced this over many years being in crypto, you know, all this here, oh well, no, it's going to zero, but it was a correction, okay. So I think that typically at the moment that is simply what we're going for, because, you know, if we take a look at the leg here, we've got 1 2 3 4 5 setup ABC, we've got a 1 2 3 4 5 setup ABC, we've got a 1 expanded flat 2, right now we've had a third wave which has took out this resistance as anticipated, possible wave 4, and then a final 5th wave coming up. The exponential growth here to meet the technical target of an inverse head and shoulders pattern and a beautiful cup and handle pattern. The minute it gets invalidated is the minute I flip bearish, and I'll alert you to that particular, you know, time frame basically, and the price action. So at the minute I'm just respecting the structure. I don't necessarily see 5 waves up here, 1 expanded flat 2, 3, possibly some kind of 4 going through right now, and a final 5th wave coming up. Amazing. Until I start to see that, obviously at that point, you know, I think we're cooked. We're increased probability at that point as well. So basically, is there any other chart that right now is adding confidence to the fact that all we've done is got an inverse head and shoulders pattern or a cup and handle pattern, broke out, back test the neckline, as you know typically we see before continuation? Is there anything else that's given us a clue to that big move in the altcoin market cap right there? Well, there is. Let me show you. It's a Bitcoin dominance chart, okay? So looking at Bitcoin dominance, and I think this holds all the clues going forward as well as the total 2. Now there is a little bit of confluence in this particular chart. If we are right now breaking down, this is where we see the continuation in the total 2 chart, because obviously total 2 is the cryptocurrency market cap excluding Bitcoin. So we would imagine that if we start to see total 2 surge, then this has to drop. If I drop the total 2 chart in for you right now, plus symbol, go to total 2, new price to scale, you can clearly see as this drops, look at that, what happens to total 2, the purple line, it goes insane. As this drops, what happens to total 2? You know, it goes insane. It absolutely goes vertical, doesn't it? So, you know, we couldn't really be expecting the total 2 chart to go vertical in continuation unless we are starting to see something like this. So basically what I'm trying to relay to you is this comes down, total 2 comes up. Is this come down, total 2 comes up. Is this come down, total 2 goes up. So we need the dominance to go down. Okay, if we're expecting this sort of big push here in the total 2 market cap, which is basically crypto excluding Bitcoin. So, you know, we're looking at that in confluence and inverse correlation. We need to see the dominance breaking down. So I think that what we've seen from this point here, which I relayed to you way back when in October and November, as confluence to the big push up in XRP, VeChain, Cardano, and so on and so forth, I see a drop here. Okay, I see a big drop towards this neckline. At this point, we need to see a lower high, and then we drop again. If we start to fall out of this channel, then okay, we found it. We've got the big third wave coming down, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 set up that this would indicate to me, okay, we're looking at a continuation of the total 2 chart and a big vertical in a lot of these altcoins because of the Bitcoin dominance. How do we invalidate that? Same reason, same way on the total 2 chart. If we start to see it break down below the support right there and it turns it into resistance, if it starts to break above the resistance, turns it into support, you've got confidence that, you know, this analysis of this drop in the dominance and you know, the total 2 chart popping, which is obviously altcoins, then we're looking at that. We're looking at this invalidation point in this particular chart as well as a total 2 chart. So we should most look, but so far we look like we've got a breakdown, a retest, which is a lower high, which is a retracement in these altcoins, doing something like this. If we see a breakdown of this channel, basically this ascending trend line, if we see this turn to resistance, I'm all in on altcoins, and that's a key point I'll be relaying to you. And obviously if we don't, if it starts to break up from here and starts to go berserk and the dominance is just going crazy in the sky, and we're not necessarily seeing this alt season as we have done in every single cycle, there's your alt season, there's your alt season towards this white trend line. If we don't see that, then I'm wrong and I apologize, but at the minute we are on the cusp of a potential alt season and people are getting extremely bearish, not thinking one's coming. And like I've always taught you, opportunity never feels like opportunity. No one can ever see these things coming coming, but I look for clues in the chart. So we've got resistance, beautiful move up in total 2, resistance, beautiful move up in total 2, resistance, beautiful move up in total 2, and right now if it starts to break down again and gets towards the technical target of the channel, like I've always taught you, these bearish rising channels are actually bearish, and that's a technical target when they break down. If we see this, then what would you imagine total 2 is going to do? The opposite. Really simple. So I'll leave you with that. I'll keep you updated as best I can. I do drop trades on Bitcoin and altcoins and things like that in the Discord right there, and I'll keep you updated as best I can, but at the moment I'm just keeping an eye on this because this looks like some kind of double top drop here, which leads to the alt season basically, which is the same as that and the same as that. Wish you utmost luck. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned. Take care everyone. Back to another update on Bitcoin. Bye bye.